I think that's me live on air now. I'm not muted. Sorry about that. I was muted in the thing. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much to SS4C for taking me for the 8th marathon in a row at this point. They've been trying to get rid of this game, and we just don't let them, unfortunately. And now I'm on staff. It's even easier for me to get this game accepted. So we're a bit behind schedule, so I'm just going to dive straight into it. Made my file name SS4C8 hype. Can I get some hype in the chat? Hype? Anyone? And then I just need to change a few preferences here. And by a few, I mean one. Just turn off inverse look. And then we can start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I will be pretty impressed if there are returning SS4C8 viewers who don't know the lore behind TimeSplitters at SS4C. But basically, I submitted this game when I was, I think, about 14 to the first SS4C back in 2015. And I got given a really, really poor time slot at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning for me, something like that. And Nez felt pretty bad about it. And so he said to me, okay, well, you can do the run again at a not terrible time slot for the SS4C2. And once again, he gave me a pretty poor time slot for SS4C2. So he was like, okay, third time's the charm, SS4C3. And I got a good time slot for that marathon. But by that point, it kind of already descended into a meme that TimeSplitters was at every event. I actually don't really run this game very often anymore. I kind of only bring it out for this marathon. This is the first time in about a year I've played this, apart from my my brief practice. But yeah, so essentially the sort of the I don't know what I'm trying to say. How you play this game, it's the story behind the game is that you travel back through time as the character Sergeant Cortez, who, if you've played Future Perfect, I'm sure you'll be very familiar with. But yeah, you travel back through time to 9 different historical periods to recover the time crystals to basically prevent the time splitters, an evil race of aliens, from destroying time and permanently changing the course of history. And yeah, like Deathline said, sorry about the audio thing. That's another feature. My audio through my capture card actually broke right before my run in SS4C1. And I managed to get it fixed right before my run in SS4C2. I'm going to go for a cool strat here. Sorry, 2 seconds. It didn't work. Okay, so it's RNG, but if you throw a mine on that guard there, sometimes he'll turn around and open a door that you otherwise have to go up here and press this switch to open, and that's maybe like a 5 or 6 second time save. It's really annoying, actually. It makes the route really not fun to grind for a PB, because you basically have to get it, and it's like a 1 in 10 chance. And you know, I thought everything was fine, and then I tried to set it up for this year, and it just didn't work again for some reason. We tried a lot of different solutions, but we had to go back to the old setup that I was running in SS4C events before SS4C7, which is why the game audio might be a little bit patchy, unfortunately. But hopefully it'll be okay, and I definitely think I'm going to invest in a new SD capture card soon, or you know, something that can help me route my PS2 capture through my HD capture card, because that one works absolutely fine. So the level that we just did was Siberia, and now we're in Chicago, which is, you know, it's got a pretty big auto-scroller in, but there's a lot you have to do during the auto-scroller to make sure that things go as quickly as they can, to make sure the auto-scroller has the fastest cycle you can get. So I shoot that guy there, and the idea is that he's going to give me some damage boosts. He didn't give me any in this particular scenario, but this game, when you get to the highest sort of level of optimization, which we are, you know, the game at this point has kind of reached that level. You know, the top 5 runners or so are only split by sort of like 10 to 20 seconds, something like that. Every damage boost begins to count. Here, what I'm doing is I'm protecting this bloke here. We have to help him get back to his apartment, and there's going to be guys that are going to come after him and try and shoot him. And every time they shoot him, he stops walking for about 15 seconds. So it's really slow, and you don't want it to happen. I've killed all the guys that are going to come for him in the immediate time. So this is a special sort of thing I like to do while I wait. It's not required at all, but you know, we just play a bit of pool in the bar. Okay, that was one missed shot, but that's fine. Oh. Okay, I need to go. So there's going to be one more guy coming after Marco, this bloke here. And now we're going to go into his house. But we're actually going to go first, despite the fact that he has the key. I think that might be the first time I've actually done that in an SS4C event or in any charity event. It famously happened at ESA 2015 or 16, I want to say, back when Jangbang did a run of this. That was the ESA run that was most infamous for the runner basically leaving halfway through and going to take a vape break. But I've never done it before until today. SS4C8, and you know, we're still having that's never happened moments in this game, but that's fine. It's not really a big problem. I'll just go through, do that whole thing again, and maybe I'll take the thing a bit safer this time. Effectively, what I was trying to do there, it's a little bit finicky, but you know, works most of the time. Is that Marco, the informant that we're trying to help get home? He, if you go into his apartment, which you need to do to collect a key card, which is required for progressing throughout the level. When you go into his apartment to collect that key card, because you go in front of him, you then have to exit whilst he's still walking through the door. And if you shoot him there, it will stop him for the 15 seconds that I mentioned earlier. But he will still make it home before the level ends, and therefore the objective will count as completed. But it allows you to exit his apartment about 2 seconds quicker. I'll show you exactly what I mean, because I'm not going to go for it this time. So we stand here, and then he will sort of push us through the door, like so. And then we're going to get stuck there. You saw I wasn't moving for about 2 seconds or so. And if you shoot him in the leg, crucially not in the head, like I just did, but if you shoot him in the leg, it can save you 2 seconds there. So that's what I was trying to go for, and unfortunately it didn't quite work. But anyway, we're coming up on the end of Chicago now, finally. I can only pray that Notre Dame goes well now, because if it doesn't, then my estimate's going to be a little bit squeaky, but it should still be fine. I usually give a pretty generous estimate. My PB is in the 33s for this game, and I usually get 33s or 34s on runs that don't fail. So that's that. Very easy boss fight. The bosses in this game really kind of just go by like nothing is even happening. Because we're on easy, it's not really a problem. Notre Dame. This is the infamous level in this game. The one that a lot of new runners will quit learning when they discover what is in store in this level. Because not only does it have kind of pseudo RNG. And I guess it's kind of proper RNG, but the RNG isn't what people think it is. And I can explain it when I show you, but basically it's got some RNG, which is really annoying. It's probably the second most reset heavy point now that Siberia has the RNG strat that I mentioned earlier. And then to top it off later in the level, you've also got some really like precise shots that you have to hit quite quickly, which is quite hard to do. So we have an objective here, which is to rescue the maidens. There are 3 maidens to rescue, and 2 of them are in this section here. And because we like to go fast, we have to set ourselves on fire. And that means we can't walk too close to these maidens, which means we have to set them free by shooting off these shackles, like I just did there. And that can sometimes go very wrong, and quite often does go very wrong. And the reason why is because the shotgun spread, which is the only weapon we have at the moment, the shotgun spread can be quite inaccurate. Which means that sometimes, despite the fact that you will try, to aim as precisely on the shackles as you can, sometimes if the maidens want to get shot in the head, they will just be shot in the head. I came up here because that there drops the rope on which the final maiden is tied, and you can see she's now down over there. And now a bunch of waves of zombies are going to spawn in here, and I just have to kill them as quickly as possible. While also trying desperately hard not to set that maiden on fire. Where's the time crystal? There it is. This is actually going super well so far. That was blinding. That was honestly one of the fastest Notre Dames I've had in my entire 7-year speedrunning career of this game. So that was quite quite incredible to get that in a marathon. Yeah. Usually, by the time you collect the time crystal, you want to have killed maybe 1 or 2 of the zombies, and then by the time you make it back to the middle of the room, you want to have killed 4 of them. And by the time I made it back to the middle of the room, I'd already killed 6 of them. So that was really good. The portal demon fight was really quick. If this was a PB attempt, I might genuinely be on for a gold split right now. And bear in mind, this is a category I've been running since 2014. I've pretty much done everything there is to do in this game. And this is just super fast, so fast. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. That made up for the blunder on Chicago. So yeah, that was really quite nice to get that. Planet X. If you've ever played TimeSplitters 1, Planet X features that, and so this is Return to Planet X. This is the first level set in the future, and so I don't know if perhaps we'll be on whatever Planet X is referring to by 2200, but yeah, there's kind of no historical basis to base this level off like there was with the first 3 levels. So we got laser guns, we got weird aliens and flying space like Spitfires and stuff like that. This level is fairly straightforward. It's kind of a bit of a sleeper level, and a big reason why it's a sleeper level is because of one small thing, one strat that I don't do here. Usually, the better runners than myself will go to the spawn points of these aliens and try and kill them using the laser guns. But because I'm not very good at doing that, I just use this turret here, which it costs about 3 seconds, I believe, if you do this section well, which, mine was okay. It was a bit slow. That opens up this laser wall here, which then will progress to the sort of final section of the level, which is just fighting off more aliens on the beaches of this planet. It's basically, this section is just about how quickly can you kill these aliens. So they spawn here, and I immediately want to start shooting to sort of stun lock them in place, and then it's easier. And then once I've killed these 4, another 4 are going to spawn, and I want to kill these as quickly as humanly possible. Pretty good. Okay, and now I don't need to worry about any more aliens that spawn here. I'm going to, just to make sure that they don't push me out of the position I need to be stood in. But I want to be stood right here, and then this is going to take me on board this spaceship in just a moment. There we go. And then you just collect the time crystal within the spaceship, and then the time portal is going to open, and the level is going to be complete. There was a time splitter that got in my way there, but that's fine. That's actually the first time you see the sort of main time splitter alien. There are a few instances in the earlier part of the run where you'll see what I believe are called the Scourge splitters, which are the ones with guns. Those ones just shoot lightning at you. The ones that we saw in the spacecraft just there, and they can also go invisible, but you can usually see the outline. Neo Tokyo. This is the most exciting level in this whole run, in my opinion. So the way it works is that you have to tail this woman here, who's just walking off screen now, all the way back to her base, and then follow her in without being detected. But here's the thing, because I've played this game about 2,000 times, I know exactly where her base is. It's just down here. You still have to wait for her to get here because she's the only one that can open the door. But yeah, I just like to sit here for 2 minutes and just think and just meditate. You know, just achieve zen. But because we're in a marathon, perhaps Deathline, if we have any donations or anything you'd like to announce or read out, now might be a good time for it.
Right on. This is a perfect time, actually. So I have a $10 donation from Naland Simba. I hope I'm not butchering.
It's Nala and Simba.
Nala and Simba. I'm sorry. Cannot read. There's too many vowels. And we have a $20 donation from Zapni that says, I've waited for the whole event for this run, in all caps. Bringing our total up to $330 raised for the Lead Foundation. You can read more about that with the link in chat. And with that, we are only $20 away from meeting the Sonic Roboblast 2 upgrade to all emeralds incentive. That's going to be happening in about after TimeSplitters, we have Sonic the Hedgehog and then Sonic Roboblast 2. So you got just a little bit more time to put in $20 to upgrade to all emeralds as a category.
You know, I just panicked because I wasn't paying attention. I was really worried that she'd already walked by, but we're okay. She's coming now. This red blip here on the radar is her, the woman we're supposed to be following. But yeah, I just had a brief panic that she'd walked past while I was just listening to TL reading donations, which would have been probably the most embarrassing thing that had ever happened to me in a marathon. But yeah, thank you for that. Please make sure to get your donations in for the Sonic Roboblast 2 incentive. There's only $20 more, I think DL said, for that one. And you know, I think there's one run after my run, and then it's Sonic Roboblast 2. So you want to see that donation incentive get met. We're super close, and you know, it would be a shame not to get the maximum value you could out of this marathon by adding a whole extra 5 or 10 minutes, or however long the category extension is. I'm not sure. So anyway, we're just about getting to the base, and I can show you why we couldn't just walk in, and it's because there is a laser wall right there. It's the blue laser wall, and then this guard is going to walk past, and then we're going to sneak in behind them. We're going to go nice and close to this camera panel here, because if you're just teetering on the edge of the camera panel, like the activation detection zone, sometimes you can soft lock the game, and I have done it on PB pace runs before, so I'm just going to play it nice and safe. Now we have to watch her enter her password. That's all good. And then we have no further use for her. So get out. No reason that we really need her password. Oh. Whoops, that was a bit slow. Because the door's still open by the time that we've killed her. So yeah, there's no real use for it. And then this woman here has the time crystal. Okay, there was an extra guard there. There's usually only one guard at the end of that corridor, and that kind of threw me off a bit. But it's fine. Just a couple of back boosts, costs maybe half a second or so. Should still be comfortably under estimate, provided everything goes well for the second half of the run. Oh, my aim. Okay, I'm just gonna go past. that was a bit janky there, but that's fine. I'm just going to kill those guys. Sometimes they can give you boosts once you pass them, but they can also give you back boosts, and back boosts not good. So yeah, like I said, we're about halfway through the run now. That's level 5 of 10. Next is the immediately after the longest level in the game, we have the shortest level in the game, which is Wild West. I drew a blank on the name for a second there. And the reason why this is the shortest level is because it's probably the one that strays the most from what you'd expect as a casual player. There are quite a few cool little speed strats we can do here. If you've ever played this game casually before, you'd be quite impressed with some of the things I do here. And the first one is we completely skip the gunpowder in here, and what we do instead is we line ourselves up from the cell and just shoot the explosives, and that helps Ramona escape from jail without having to walk around the back of the prison, and saves maybe 30 seconds straight off the bat. Then instead of walking up into the barn, you can just shoot the water to put out the fire in the barn from ground level. And yeah, I mean, we're pretty much already at the end of the level now. Like, that was it. That was, what, 30 seconds? And we're already near the end of the level. All we have to do now is push along this minecart to here, then get in front of the minecart while also killing these guards who are in our way. And then we're going to stand in a very specific point right here. We're going to aim towards here, and then the colonel's going to walk out of this building now, and yeah, I got the quick kill, and that's cool. So usually you'd have to get the time crystal first, and then come out and fight your boy, the colonel. And then I died and completed the level at the same time, but that does count. Don't worry, because we hit the time portal detection zone before we died, so it counts. But yeah, that's a pretty funny thing that can happen there, and it does save about a second because for some reason the time portal, like detection zone, like the hitbox, is just so big compared to all the other time portals in this game. You can literally jump off like about 2 seconds before you land, and you'll still hit the hitbox for the portal. So this is another level where there's a bit of deviation from the casual, not massively, but you know, it's very sort of telegraphed because you start this level without a gun, and in order to make the AI do exactly what you want, because it is a pseudo stealth mission, you really have to think about how you're. For goodness sake, I don't know why that happens sometimes, but that happened to me in practice, and it's rarely ever happened to me before. But that scientist can sometimes just get spooked and not want to defuse the bomb, and when that happens, you just have to restart. So I disable those 3 cameras there, which means I won't get caught on camera walking through this corridor, and it means that I can stealth take down this guy here. And then we're going to kill this guard here. He's going to defuse the bomb properly this time. Not sure what happened last time. And yeah, so the aim of this mission is to defuse 3 bombs before the time limit is up, which you can see in the top right corner. And every time you defuse a bomb, it adds 3 minutes to the timer, so we should be fine. I'm going to take this guy down with a headshot so as to not alert this guy, but then I'm going to deliberately body shot this guy to alert the 2 guards around the corner, and that puts them in a better spot for me to kill them if I can aim, which apparently I'm struggling with today. Now we have the double pistols, and we're just going to go hell for leather through here. Probably the most annoying part about this level is extinguishing these sections of fire here. Sometimes they just don't want to go out, no matter how hard you try. And yeah, this was unfortunately very slow. Probably lost about 6 seconds trying to extinguish them there, but that's all right. Go in here to collect the body armor and this machine gun. If you're really good, you can actually do it without getting that, but it's very, very risky strat to do it that way. Kill all these guards. Usually you'd want to turn off the steam in this room. However, because we're fast, we don't actually need to, and we can just tank the damage. It puts us on very low health, but it is possible. So we drop the bomb in there, kill this guard here, and then get out. And I think I'm on good health. I shouldn't have too much of an issue, provided I kill all of these guards in this room. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, we should be fine. And then we got another fire section, so I just want to be careful not to get hit by the fire because it does do damage for every tick that you're touching it. Yeah, okay, that was a little bit slow, but it's not a big deal. There's going to be a guy here, a sniper that hits us, and quite often, depending on how you walk out, he'll headshot you, and that has killed too many of my runs because you're on such low health at this point. These two guards fairly easy to dispose of. And then we open this big door here. That big door there, fun fact about it, is the reason why PAL is a slower version than NTSC to run on, because the big door is about 15 seconds slower to open in this category. Maybe it's only 10, but it's a big chunk. And it means that basically you can't contest for world record if you're on the PAL version of the game, which I am playing on, by the way. So now we're at the end of the level. All we got to do is shut down this reactor and defeat our James Bond villain-esque Kalos. That's actually a really good position. He sometimes spawns all the way back at the entrance to this area, and that costs 10 seconds if he spawns there. But he was in a really good position this time, and it meant that the time crystal dropped in a really good position as well, because obviously you got to collect that from him. So yeah, that after the restart, that went pretty all right, I'd say. We got 3 more levels to go. First up is Aztec, which is a pretty swift one. All that we're doing here is just finding the entrance to the temple, and then we got to defeat the RNG golems, the random number golems. And yeah, if you don't like animal cruelty, perhaps it'd be best to look away now, because I do kill quite a few monkeys during this level. But it's, kill the animals, save the frames. That's given me a great idea for a donation incentive if I ever do this in another marathon in the future. But yeah, so the idea is that you just want to run through here as quickly as possible. I want to get a crossbow soon, so I'm going to try and headshot this guy, which I did. Good. The crossbow is a one-shot kill no matter where you hit your enemy from. Whereas the pistol takes 2. And I know what you're thinking. Surely a bullet would hurt more than an arrow, but this is 1928, I think. So maybe the pistols weren't very high powered back then. And the crossbows are metal tipped. That's all I can think of. No laser pistols? Not in the 1920s, I'm afraid, Zopni. It's a little bit before their time. But there were laser pistols in the Neo Tokyo level, which is the one that DL was reading donations during. And fun fact about Neo Tokyo, it is a future level in the game canon, because the game was released in 2002. However, it's set in the year 2019. So it actually is now a past level. And well, I don't think Tokyo looks particularly like that level. I don't know what you guys think. But yeah, it's something that I found to be a big source of amusement for the past few years. That's bad. So when this golem hits the ground with his fists like that costs 4 seconds every time he does it. And it can just kill your run right there and then, basically. You can be on PB pace, and then he ground pounds once, and it's like, okay, run over. But that guy was pretty nice. So that was about an 8-second time loss all in all. And yeah, that's the end of that level. So now we've got 2 more to go. We've got Robot Factory, which is the final time travel level. And then we have Space Station, which is the sort of the main setting for the entire game. If you have a look right, well, technically then, but I forgot there was an extra cutscene. But if you have a look right now, the background here is the space station, which you'll see when we get onto the space station level. But first we have Robot Factory. Robot Factory is notorious for everything has gone right in your run. You're on really good pace. You finally got the good run you were going for, and then you choke. That's what this level is. This is the hard level before the end. Space Station is fairly straightforward. I rarely ever choke on that level. This level I choke on all the time, because it's basically just non-stop killing things or focusing on movement lines, making sure that you can go as quickly as you can. First thing we want to do here is extend the bridge. And then I'm going to go around the outside there to avoid getting stuck on those robots there, because taking the optimal line like on the inside is slightly faster, but there's a very high chance you'll get stuck on a robot, which makes it slower. Here I'm going to shoot this turret off the wall. I got 1 damage boost from the robot, which isn't great. Sometimes you can get as many as 3. On harder difficulties, you'll get like 6 and instantly die, so you actually have to kill those robots. Your opponent's accuracy is very dependent on what difficulty you're on, and on hard, your opponent basically never misses. It's kind of like DLTK and GoldenEye, where you can, well, it's a little bit more forgiving. You can take about 4 shots and then you die, and your opponents basically, or your enemies basically hit everything. So here we were getting the Electro tool because the main objective for this level is to overload these energy nodes here. By using the Electro tool. I'm going to grab some body armor here just so I don't die. And then we got to kill the 4 robots that just spawned, which I believe I've done. Yeah, cool. And then that opens up this laser wall, and then we have another energy node to overload. I did the movement slightly wrong there. You can tell I'm a little bit out of practice on this level, but that's not a big deal. I'll switch back to the Electro tool here because we actually have this in abundance. And yeah, you want to make sure that you have enough of this gun that I've got equipped, the plasma auto rifle, to get to the end of the level and collect the laser gun from an opponent later on. Okay, those robots went down without a fight. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move the energy node that's up there, and then we're going to overload this one. And the reason why we do that in this order is because, hang on, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. But basically, the final energy node is up here, and usually is surrounded by a shield. But if you do things in the order I did them, it actually despawns the shield surrounding it, which means you can overload it faster. Oh, this is the wrong weapon. Oh, goodness. This is slow. And then there's a very specific pattern in which I want to kill these enemies, which is like so. If you're watching me alternating between a bunch of them, and then there's going to be one over here, and then one more here, and one more here. There we go. This has unfortunately been quite a slow robot factory. This would have almost, if I'd have been on PB pace in a PB run, this would have undoubtedly have just absolutely obliterated my chances of doing it. There's a quick kill on this boss here, which utilizes the fact that the gun I have has recoil mechanics. You just shoot him in a very specific point, and the bullets will ricochet onto him maybe like 3 or 4 times before dissipating, which means you can get a ton of damage off on him really quickly. The old strat used to be picking up the plasma grenades, and you would fire 12 grenades onto him, and it would just kill him. But that's, you know, maybe like 5 seconds slower again, so it's a pretty good strat. And that's the end of that. So yeah, with that, we've only got 1 more level to go. This run's gone very quickly, but it is the first full game RTA I've done in, you know, knocking on the door of a year. You need to remember the menuing there, because it sets you back to Siberia with the sort of the idea behind it is that you will want to beat the game on hard before you do Space Station easy, which doesn't really make much sense, but that's just what they wanted you to do. So here we collect all the time crystals instantly to stop the time splitters from having them, and then we need to escape this space station, which is where we've been going back in time, like the sort of the central hub for the whole duration of the run. We want to set the space station to self-destruct, so we don't you know, don't get followed by any of the evil time splitters. And now we just got a few more things to do, and then we're gonna escape. So the first thing that you would usually do here is you would go and grab an environment suit, which allows you to breathe in outer space. However, I don't have time. You know, we're against the clock here, so I'm going to completely skip that bit, and we're going to have to go straight to being outside. Excuse me. You're going to have to go straight to being outside without an environment suit, which I don't know if you guys have ever tried to breathe in space. Not easy. You close the airlock quickly there, and that will cause this this airlock to open a little bit faster than it usually would. And then we're going to mount this turret here. And then there's a very specific pattern which these guys spawn at, and I don't know if you can hear in the background, but I don't think Cortez is enjoying himself right now. He is trying to breathe in outer space, which, you know, it's not easy to do. Oh no, that's bad. Yeah, so you want to make sure that you hit the cycles properly and destroy all the ships in every cycle. Now I'm going to get an extra cycle, I think, which is a bit frustrating, but you know, it's not gonna push me over estimate. I'm almost very confident of that. Oh no, actually we don't get an extra cycle. We just get 2 ships spawning here instead of 1 that usually spawns there. And then the final ship will spawn about here. Done. Cool. All right, yeah, that was pretty good in the end. The miss didn't cost me too much. We've got a good chunk of health, but there's going to be a lot of dudes that spawn here, and they're going to give us some damage boosts, but I have this phrase that I like to say on my stream when I'm on PB pace at this point, which is damage boosts are good, death is not, because I have died. I've died right here on a run that was 8 seconds ahead of my PB, which is a big deal in this category, in case you're wondering. So yeah, I always like to take it easy and just be careful when I'm on PB pace at this point. Now we can get some body armor, and we've also got a minigun, so we basically can't die. And then there's one final speed strat we're going to do to escape the space station, which is wait for the elevator to come up, jump on top of the elevator, and yeah, why don't we take a look? So I can breathe in space now, apparently. I couldn't before, but now I can. That's just a little thing, because they didn't anticipate you being able to get on top of the elevator, that you can clip through the ceiling of this section, but that's not a big deal. All right, now I need to look for a very particular visual cue here, which is when you enter the gray section in front. It's on the second light strip. Once it hits the bottom, you want to jump off, and that saves about 5 seconds over taking the elevator normally, and time. Sorry, I should have warned you that that was coming up. But yeah, that's that. We'll just check the IGT, even though the run's invalid because of the restarts on Chicago and Atom Smasher. But yeah, we'll see what this could have been if we hadn't have had those. What was the RTA time? Just out of curiosity.
Your RTA time was 36:45.
36:45. Okay, I mean that's underestimate. It was the run was a bit but that's fine. You know, I wasn't expecting to come back and get a world record run or anything like that. I look remarkably similar to an old school acquaintance of yours. Perhaps I am that old school acquaintance of yours. You never know. So yeah, this would have been a 28:15, which is actually quite a decent run. I've had one or two sub 28s in marathons before, and that's the extension, or that's the extent of that, I should say. But anyway, I'm going to quickly wrap up. Shout outs to the TimeSplitters community. There's a lot of really good runners in this community now that are a lot better than I am. Thank you to SS4C for having me. You'll be hearing more from me because I'm hosting the next few runs. But yeah, because